Hey guys, it's Miss Mills, and the whole point of this video is to help you out on the square and square roots notes on Google Forms. Now, this will specifically only be for the online students and the Group B students. Group A students, you will be getting this information in person on Tuesday, but I recommend you still watching this video because at the very end I will be doing some examples pulled directly from the word problems worksheet that I will give to you at the end of the week. So I hope this helps y'all out, and let's go ahead and get started. So with the notes in particular, we just want to know, what is a square, what does it look like, and what does it mean? So a square is this little 2 in the top right-hand corner, right here. So what does it mean? It means that you are going to multiply this number that would be right here twice by itself. So x squared is the same thing as x times x, okay? So again, if you saw something like, I don't know, x over 3 or x cubed, that would be the same thing as multiplying x 3 times, okay? But let's focus on squares real quick, so there's just the 2's right here. So another example would be 1 squared would be 1 times 1, and that equals 1. 2 squared is 2 times 2, and that equals 4. 3 squared is 3 times 3, and it equals 9, and it keeps going like that. So the inverse of a square, or to get rid of a square, would be to square root the number. So what that means is that, let's do 3 squared again. That equals 3 times 3, which would equal 9, right? Well, if you wanted to square root this 9, that's the inverse of 3 squared, so the answer would be 3. So what that basically means is that if I square rooted x squared, the answer would be the number itself. That would be x. So for example, let's put a number in there. If you took the square root of 3 squared, the number would be by itself would be 3, because the squared and the square root is the inverse of each other. They cancel each other out, okay? They're the opposite. All right. So what is a perfect square? So let's do this again real quick. 7 squared is 7 times 7, and that would equal 49. Well, a perfect square would be when you took a number like 49 and you square root it, and the answer would be a whole number. So what that means is that this number right here, it's not like 7.2 or anything like that. It is just a whole number by itself. When you square root 49, you get 7. That means 49 is a perfect square. An example of something that wouldn't be a perfect square would be doing something like the square root of 50. It's just one number up, right? But if you go to your Desmos calculator, so let's go there real quick, and you took the square root, which is this button right here, let's take the square root of 50, it would be this huge long decimal number. So that means that 50 is not a perfect square, because if you square rooted it, you would not get a whole number. You would get a number and then a bunch of decimal numbers behind it. So a perfect square would be, when you square root it, you would get a whole number just by itself. I hope that helps out with the Google Forms. All right, so let's go ahead and do some problems on our square and square roots word problems, okay? So I showed you how to find the square or the square root on your Desmos calculator, but if you wanted to find the square of something, what you would do would be 2, and then you would press this number over here, 2 squared, and it will give you the answer right here as well. You can do that for all of them. But on the Google form, I ask you to write down all of the squares, the perfect squares, and the square roots, just because I want you to write them down so you can memorize them for the test later on. Group A and Group B, when y'all come to school in person, we will make a foldable together. so you can have that as well for the test. But let's go ahead and do an example on here. So number 11 looks a little bit like this. This little symbol right here, it just basically means the same thing as 9 squared plus 3 cubed, okay? I have that on the worksheet, but don't worry, it means the exact same thing. So let's get rid of those and let's go ahead and do this. Sorry, I was just playing with it earlier. Okay, sorry about that. So 9 squared plus 3 cubed. Well, 9 squared would be 81. 3 cubed would be 27. And then 81 plus 27 would be 108. So that's all that is, really. Let's do one more. Number 14 is 3 and then square root of 144. This basically just means you're going to multiply this right here. So 3 times the square root of 144 is actually 12, and then 3 times 12 is going to be 36. So guys, this worksheet is going to be no problem for you, but if you do have any questions, remember not to hesitate to contact me. But 17 through 20 are actually going to be word problems, and I'm not going to help you out with any of those. I want you to do them themselves, but I will say some of the problems will ask you for the length of one of the sides, and then some other problems would ask for the perimeter. So just be very careful when you're answering the problems, because you might find the length of the side and you may give me that answer, but the answer would actually be the perimeter. So you need to remember the perimeter of, let's say, a square would be adding all the sides together. So just again, be careful with that. Guys, I hope this video helped out. If you have any questions, don't forget to contact me. Good luck on all your assignments, and I will see you soon. Bye.